Adam, what Crystal Light are you drinking today?
This is not Crystal Light. This is Market Pantry. I'm in my Crystal Light era. It's cheap. We have water bottles.
It's just a way for Adam to finally start drinking water, because famously Adam does not drink water. It's very annoying.
Does this count as drinking water?
Girlies who are more hydrated than we are, please let us know.
And mine looks like blood for enhypen.
Orange blood.
Orange blood. Orange blood. I'm going to say this right now. I am enjoying watching this entertaining piece of television.
We are accepting our privilege of not being there, so we don't have that pain and anger and frustration as we watch this now, completely separate from what was going on, and like fully knowing that like a lot of these trainees are in fulfilling K-pop careers.
Here's the only thing I'm going to say about this show that feels different. Truly, I think it feels very serious.
Totally.
But I think they're obviously editing out a lot of the fun that the trainees would have had together anyway.
Yeah.
There's no way a bunch of teenage boys hanging out together not joking around constantly.
This episode probably had the most that they could relax, and it was from like Iland boys like lifting their shirts.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry.
But that felt the most like, oh, they're just like, okay.
Oh no, we're not doing that. Not on camera. The only thing that feels like truly, and we've made jokes, and we like to use our big therapy words.
Yeah.
Like trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
Which is not actually what this trauma bonding is, a real co-opting words.
Yeah. Friedrich said, now hold on a minute, Miss Mamas.
Is that the only thing that I think may be nefarious, and I don't actually know if I even believe that, is that they are voting each other on and off the island.
Yeah.
The trainees are voting themselves.
It feels like a big responsibility that in reality, they don't actually have that power. If this was simulating a real like trainee program to debut, other trainees can't be like, I don't think he's ready. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like
No, I agree with what you sorry. No, I agree with what you're saying.
Oh. I was like,
no, they cannot.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful with my words on this show.
I know.
Vocal Iland got 81. That was their score. That was the last thing we knew.
Last thing we knew. In vocal ground. Vocal ground.
Sunoo Daniel. Save Me. Bangtanso년단. Got 74.
So not enough.
Do we agree that Iland did better than Ground?
I think so. I think it really felt more polished.
Iland.
Mm-hmm. But I felt more emotion from Ground.
I think if this was like something like an American Idol version.
Oh, yeah.
Something about the more emotional
performance of Sunoo.
Underdog.
Absolutely.
Energy will always
If this was like open to global voting, I think Ground would have won.
But it's very close.
It's very close.
It's only seven points difference. So they both did really well.
Yeah.
Next up are the dancers. So ground performance line goes first. It's Niki, Nicholas, and Jaeho.
Uh-huh.
And then just a reminder that the Iland trio is K, Jungwon, and Sunghoon. Sunghoon, who has replaced
Jae.
It seems to be like there were a few choice pieces of choreography that like Jae was struggling with, but the one that the editors focused on, because I think it's the quickest one to show that Sunghoon look how much better he did doing this move. He's like be in this like awkward like knees together, jump turn, spin, and then fall back into the same position. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna say I thought it looked awkward with both of them.
Just that move in general.
I think the move in general looks weird.
But I think,
but maybe that's what they're going for.
There's like two of those like twirls that he has to do, and both were in the choreography that they were given.
Yes,
so they have to do it.
Jae is struggling with them more. Like he's like not landing the turn, like whatever.
Him dancing the other parts of the choreography,
polished.
Yeah. Sunghoon is Jae's understudy. I told Adam, like, I think the K-drama is going to start brewing now. Because K, who has taken like the leadership role, I would say, in this trio, because it's like his style. He's like choreographer.
The two best dancers on this show are Niki and K.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, I agree.
They are, and it's not even saying it in a way that like other people are bad.
Yeah, like heesung isn't good or jungwon isn't
Right.
good. No.
They're all like great. Kay and Niki are like like
they make it look so easy. It looks like they're not dancing.
I'm like tearing up literally just because when people are like so good at a skill.
Girl, why are you tearing
I
up?
don't know.
Calm down.
When people are so good at a skill and then they're like allowed to do it and they have so much confidence and the confidence is matched with how good they are.
Yeah.
They're not overconfident.
There's something different.
They're not too humble. They're not fake. It's not fake humility. Like they're just so great. They're masters at their craft. It is so fucking satisfying to watch. The fact that Niki is 14 years old, it's like, who am I to even vote?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have the power?
Well, yeah, when it's clear.
I don't, because I'm not watching in real time. Yeah. But like, that's crazy. He's so good. They're both so good. I don't know
why are you crying, girl?
No. I'm so emotional about these boys.
So this is when I feel like it's starting to brew, right? Of the K-drama that we keep hearing about, people keep talking about.
They keep
alluding to it, whispering, and you know what Oprah said, listen to the whispers.
Listen for the whispers.
And K is like, I don't know. I feel like Jae feels like she's not hitting it. I don't know. Could we maybe take a look at Sunghoon getting people, like asking people, like, what do you think? Do you think
also like noticing that Sunghoon is constantly practicing?
There's this like
that is so
Sunghoon
ice skater
practicing on the corner of the room, and K like just watching him because he's doing a great job.
The moment that they edit is supposed to be like, look, K is noticing Sunghoon.
Yes.
You also see Sunghoon glance over and notice K watching him.
Yeah.
It's like this whole. Like everyone's very
it's plausible deniability.
We love it. It's our favorite phrase on this show.
We love it. They do this very Big Brother thing where I think it was Seon who like pulls Sunghoon aside in the crying corner and was just like, K wants you to switch parts with Jae. And Sunghoon is like anguished because super conflicted wanting to do it, but also knowing that Jae wants to do this too and doesn't want to.
And also they're friends.
And yeah, they're friends.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think this is like bad. The rule of the thing is to have your three best people do it together.
And the fact that you can keep changing throughout.
And you can change the whole time. It's never a set thing until you step foot on the stage. Which the ground team was going to use to their advantage. And they were going to be like, Jae-ho, choreograph it. And then the minute we have to go out on stage, no, girl, I'm not choreographing that. I'm not a choreographer. I'm a dancer.
They pull Sunghoon and Jae. And it's just like K, Jungwon.
Yeah.
I don't even think anyone else is there. I think it's just the two of them and then Sunghoon and Jae.
Yeah.
And there's this moment where Jae is teaching Sunghoon the steps while K, and I think Seon is probably there, outside.
It's person being laid off and still having to train their replacement.
To onboard the new person.
It's wild.
But like they're about to basically dance because they want everyone to reassess. So K gets everyone back together. They are sitting against the mirrors. Jae like puts his, put your hair up and square up, baby.
Honey.
And he was like, let me do this, girl.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job, except for some of the parts that he's been struggling with. That Sunghoon will do better in.
Yep.
And he even says it later in the talking head that he's like, I didn't feel confident in the parts that I know Sunghoon would do better.
Yeah.
And Sunghoon does it, and he's, I would say, more crisp. I
would say Sunghoon is like technically great.
Technically good.
And I think Jay has more style.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think they're pretty evenly matched
Yeah.
in terms of like one has won a little bit more than the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. These two came in together.
I know.
It's literally
The show writes
and
itself.
this was the
It's
moment where
wild.
Adam literally looks at me and it's like, it's entertaining.
I don't know what to tell
It's
you.
entertaining.
I don't know what to tell
I
you.
don't know what to tell you. That's good narrative.
That's excellent narrative. The last 4 seasons of Drag Race haven't had narratives this good.
No, girl. Yeah, I mean, what was the last greatest narrative on Drag Race?
Probably Evie versus Brooklyn, because it was the
Okay.
mess versus the polish.
Yeah.
Just that, like, how those two ended up being like the kind of the final two
Yeah,
of that season. Because it's such a good, they're so contrasting.
Right.
And they're both so good at what they do, but their styles are so different.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Sherry Pie season was a mess. You can't even count. I mean, I love Jada, and she is a deserving winner of that show. But like,
But it was hard to just
because
they had to dance around something.
They had to like figure out how to fucking rework the whole season. Willow Pill was good, but she also kind of felt like it was like, this is Willow Pill's to lose.
It was pretty clear.
Because Rue loved her so much.
Yes. And her competition didn't feel like they're unique enough to stand against Willow Pill.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the greatest narrative they've ever done is Alyssa and Coco. Because that was already something that they've baked in. They already had it in.
Oh.
And I can
That
eat
was
that up.
excellent. That was casting.
Yeah.
That was from the beginning.
That's great casting.
Yeah.
That's from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that developed naturally was probably like Jinx and Roxy. Everyone shitting on Jinx the entire season.
Yeah.
But like she shines through.
You want me to say the last great narrative of the show? And when I say great, I just mean terms in like
Compelling.
It was extremely compelling
And like
and kind of messy and kind of got bigger than the show. Like the show couldn't contain it in a way that I think the later seasons suffered because of it, because they felt like it got too messy. It's the Vixen.
yeah.
And everything that happened around that.
Because everything after that, I felt like it changed casting. It changed the way that they brought
And I
girls
stand
in.
by what Vixen said
Absolutely.
at that reunion to this day. And then when
Totally.
Asia O'Hara was like, we just let her
just
walk
let her
out of
walk
the room.
outta here. What
And
are
no
we
one
doing?
got up to say anything. So we have failed her. We as drag queens have failed her. Now that's good entertainment. I feel like I'm on a soapbox. I'm going to step off. They auditioned both. Sunghoon gets it.
And
Jay is like obviously hurt, obviously embarrassed.
obviously disappointed. And there is this moment in one of the dance rooms where he and Kay have a moment. And Jay just like fully cries into Kay's arms. Knowing the fact that Kay was, I mean, if you think about it, story-wise, Kay was the one who brought this upon them. But then at the end of the day, he is like still seeking comfort from Kay. They all respect each other so much, even for all of their, what makes them unique and their flaws.
The only people who know what it's like to go through this are the other people going through this with them.
Yes, exactly.
And there is such a like bond and I don't mean trauma bond, but just like true bonding and camaraderie. And like, that's the thing that Iland keeps coming back to. They don't want anyone to have to go back to ground. Let's just keep keeping it this.
Yeah.
And then this will keep staying the way it is and we won't have to worry anymore.
So they dance. Iland, ground goes first. And Niki's great.
Niki, they're all really
good.
Niki is has the problem that what's his name Shiryu had in
Fantasy Boys.
In Fantasy Boys.
Where it's like you're clearly better than everyone.
Too good.
You're too good.
Too
so it's
much
not
better
blending
than
in.
everybody else.
Because he is like sharper than everyone, cleaner than everyone. And
it looks effortless.
like Round's music was just like background music. It didn't feel like they were songs. It was just beats.
I meant to look up to see if they had.
They
like,
are real songs, but it just
They are real songs.
Yeah, but it just feels like
I just meant
barely
for what we
heard
watched
lyrics.
on Weverse. If they had to swap out to be beats,
I
like
hate
how
it.
they did for Fantasy Boys.
Vicky.
The second song
just
had
sounded
no
like
words.
Yeah.
It was just a beat. That's the only one that I was like.
Is this copyright? Yeah, maybe. Iland goes, and I feel like the dance is more dynamic, like the choreography.
I think they're all more they're all more of a cohesive unit too.
Yeah. The K choreography starts at the end. It was like, it's clear. Like there's no contest.
It is true. There's a whole scene where like Rain and Zico come in and they try to like talk to Ground, and Rain is like constantly annoying me on the show.
I know.
It has nothing to do with like how I feel about Rain separately. It's just like,
he's just
it's such a performance.
It's such a performance of being like,
just trying to teach you guys to be better.
Yeah. It's like that boot campy, like type of general type stuff that I'm like, they don't need this.
Who cares? Anyway, the vibe switch from the second song into the third song was so sharp and pointed that it was like, that was like what was really cool and made you lean in and be like, whoa, like they're so good at this. And there wasn't like that hook moment for Niki's group.
There was a moment where like Niki like leaps off.
Yeah.
Like he does the flip.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Their choreography felt like, look at these B-boys like just like hanging out.
Like and if I saw what Niki and his group did on the street, I would be like, I'm tipping you $20
but that's
on
the
Venmo.
Thing. If that was like what they were trying to give off, but it felt choreographed.
Yeah.
You know?
Iland gets 73, which brings their total to 154. Ground gets 65, which brings their total to 139. So only a 15-point difference overall. 15 points. Like, that just shows how much talent there is also in Ground. Like,
yeah, totally.
There's not this huge drop-off.
No.
And it's not even like, one like performance line saved, you know what I mean? Like it's not like, the vocals saved the performance line or anything like that. Like they're all pretty even on the show.
And also like 4 weeks in now, like they've also all grown. So
there is this really nice moment and it's a very human moment.
Yes.
There's a lot of humanity happening on the show that I feel like that's one of the things I like about the show is I feel like I really see idols being allowed to not have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Which I think you generally get on
survival shows they're
anyway,
like
because they're not debuted yet.
Yeah.
Like even just the way that they like so often do not have on makeup. And like I'm seeing a lot of acne.
Yeah.
And the amount of stress that they're under, I completely understand. Girl, we just have to put out like 3 videos a week and I'm constantly like breaking out. I mean, imagine being on Iland.
So Daniel like everyone finally hugs each other after the challenge and Daniel feels hesitant to do it.
It's not even like he's mad.
He just like
it's just like the thing of where you're just like I can't even do this like fake smile at the moment
because I'm
so disappointed.
I'm so disappointed. And then he finally, like, you can tell Jungwon, like, was just looking at him, making sure that he's okay. After he got to hug everyone, Jungwon, like, basically beelines for Daniel and was like, are you okay? And, like, basically that's how Daniel kind of gives into his emotions and starts breaking down and, like, letting people come up to him, basically. There was something about Jungwon doing it. For some reason, to me, I was just like,
it's the first moment on the show. Well, first of all, Jungwon has not had a narrative on the show, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But Jungwon, it's the first moment where I was like, oh, he really is like a natural. It's not that he went out of his way to hug Daniel, right? Because they all end up hugging Daniel because he's clearly going through it. It's the fact that from across the room he like went for Daniel specifically. Right. Like he was observing him ahead of time and knew that he was going to have a problem. And I think there is like a natural thing. Daniel's the youngest person on the show. Absolutely. I think everyone wants to take care of Daniel. But the fact that it was Jungwon, who is really only like 2 years older than him.
Yeah. And has not seen him for like, a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's a very sweet, touching moment on the show. I also love the Sunoo moment where he's just like,
okay, bye.
See ya.
He's just like, it's so funny because I don't think he thinks that he is any less better than people. I think he sees.
No, I think that's the thing about Sunoo. That's the thing about Sunoo is like people sometimes misinterpret baby girlism as being like, oh,
frail,
like really weak.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder where that could stem
Sunoo is
from.
so confident in himself, and
He knows exactly what he
as
can
people
provide.
who just saw him last weekend, I can tell you, Sunoo is very, very assured in what he is doing at all times. The 112, the cunty cunt. I mean, like it was the most giving thing.
I was like, Key, is that Key on stage? Yeah. That's the thing. I think he is very confident of what he can bring and what he can deliver.
Yes.
And I think he just knows that like that's not what they're looking for in these challenges. So it's very unfair. So I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
But ultimately that's not what's going to keep
still so good.
Yeah, he's like, that's not what's going to give me an Iland, and that's not what the judges are going to judge over. They're going to prefer, the K's. He's over it. He almost just wants to get to the next part of whatever the competition is.
He doesn't feel, at this point it was still Big Hit.
Right.
He does not feel like a big hit trainee.
And I think he knows that. And I'm sure there's a lot of pressure that he felt, obviously.
Do you want to know? I wish I could be a fly on the wall for every conversation that ever has happened about Sunoo. Just to know.
I just
want to know what the conversations are.
Yeah.
I just want to know. That's all.
Not even to like say whatever.
Not even to say. I just want to know.
I just want to know what people think.
I want to know what they're hearing. I want to know the data they're looking at, because these companies are always they're always looking at receipts. Okay, it always comes down to a bottom line.
That's true.
They're always looking at that's how you figure out your next concept.
Yeah. There is a reason why Hitmen Bang picked Sunoo to be in the show, comparing to the field of everyone else that is in the show.
I shouldn't say Sunoo doesn't feel like a big hit trainee, because he does feel like
a Jimin.
He feels like a TXT.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone has a role that they play.
Yeah.
And I just would love to be in the room for the conversations about the roles that are being played.
Yeah.
That's all. The Grounders are not taking it well.
No, everyone is,
when they get back,
fully distraught. The Grounders who performed are like beating themselves up for it. We said that Rain and Zico.
Niki is crying.
Yeah. Rain and Zico have come to try and like cheer them up and basically tell them give them like the feedback of like why they didn't get ranked. A lot of it for like the vocals, it's like they looked unsure of their footing on stage. And for the dancers, they looked like they were all individual and they weren't cohesive enough. Unlike,
and that they're like each song had a different vibe and they needed to match the song's vibe.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Which was all. I think it was all fair constructive criticism. I do actually think it was good constructive criticism, because it would have been nice. But that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is, can you do all this ahead of time before you get to the stage?
Right.
Can you see all these things before we have to point them out to you?
Yeah.
Can you self-produce?
That is the only thing that I do call rigomoris on, because I don't think they expected that at all to be part of this. So
no. And it's not how it is in the real world anyway.
No. And it's
your company is going to be like, girl,
do this,
XYZ, do this,
with this.
Yeah. Jay picks up Sunghoon, which is very sweet. So things are, I mean, I'm sure it would be a completely different vibe if they had lost, but he's fine with it. Yeah. And everybody's very happy because everybody's going to get to stay. Jungwon is sleeping.
Yeah.
And he's like dancing.
He's like
while he
Friedrich.
sleeps.
When Friedrich sleeps, and then like he'll just be like
chasing a dog.
Yeah.
Chasing a squirrel. Okay, so the fourth test, which is called the Final 12. Okay. Here's the tea on the fourth test. Let's not even talk about the song yet. We can, but I don't want to.
We can't. The song's a song.
The song's a song. It's a new song or a new original song. Who cares?
Great.
Iland is going to perform the song. The producers are going to pick 3 people that are going to get kicked out and sent to ground. And I explain more that means in a second. They're going to go to ground. The Islanders are going to pick 3 people to go to ground. So in total, 6 people are leaving Iland. And then the global votes, first time, by the way,
First time in the
just
show.
starting at the end of this episode, global votes are going to pick 6 people
In that ground pool.
in that pool of 17, and they're going to send them to Iland, and then those 12 are going to continue on for the rest of the show, and everybody who is not those 12,
Bye.
bye.
That's Thanos, girl. That is half.
Thanos snapped. The song is called what is it called? I ampersand credible?
Hitman Bang probably could have called them ampersand 1.
He should have.
He should have.
And then they would have had and team.
Yeah.
Ampersand team.
Sunoo is smiling. He is the only one smiling in the ground team.
Oh, because
He
global
knows
votes
the girls are
happening.
going to vote for him.
Because he is the only... Okay, him and I would say Taki. Those
Yeah.
are the 2 who are giving kind of cute
concept.
concept energy.
That's it.
His only competition on the whole show
He's a child.
is a baby.
Essentially a 12-year-old.
Right. He's watched enough of these to be like,
Yes. He's like, I've seen Produce, girl.
yes, absolutely.
All of them. The
Yes.
boys and the girls.
101?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, I saw 16. I saw how Twice was formed, girl.
He sure did. Of
He
course
sure did. Of course.
Okay, so Iland. So let's
do ground first because it's like
Taki wants 5. He gets PO5. There you go.
Niki-
Hanbin gets the center.
Hanbin gets the center. Taki was like, Niki, you should do it. And Niki was like, I don't think I want the center. It does not work for me. He can't sing it.
And then they
pretty
like
much.
flash back.
And they flash back to
into the
he-
island.
And he was like, I failed as a center for that
There
first
is
one.
so much Niki growth and reflection in this episode.
know.
It is, again, the narratives are narrativing. It's produced so well.
Yeah. It's crazy. Because, he is like, I'm going to be either like 2 or 3, basically. In Iland, they're picking, Kay is basically just like, I think this is my concept. It's a great song and I can do everything.
And I'm going to eat the girls up.
And I'm going to eat the girls up and I can do everything position 1 can do.
And they say, great.
He said, great.
And then
so they're like, okay, if anyone else wants to pick PO1, go ahead. Make your presence known. And
Kyungmin,
little baby Kyungmin raises his hand.
like very tentatively.
Very,
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I want to be PO1. He doesn't get any votes, but he does tell himself, like, this is my last chance, essentially. I could go home. So I should at least just put myself out there for every position, which he does. And just like Jay, he gets the 12th spot instead.
When I say he gets the 12th spot, that's what he gets because it's the last spot left.
Yeah.
He has so much story on this episode.
No.
And I will be very interested to see if it pays off.
If it pays off.
There are 3 major story things that happen in this episode that are clearly set up to be like global votes. Think about who you're voting
Think
for.
about who you're voting for.
One is Niki's redemption arc. Niki having this like, I don't want the leadership position. I feel like I keep failing the team. I'm
just gonna focus on myself.
ashamed of how poorly it's been for me. He has this breakdown, and then I'm gonna just cut right to it because it's so good.
So good. And then Rain
Comes in and he's like, why is there no leader? I really want the grounders to like do better. I have like, he says he has 0.1% more affection for them than Islanders. And I'm like, that's not a thing. You're just talking. And you think you're like the teacher in Freedom Riders. And I'm just sick of hearing
You
it.
are no Hillary Swank.
You are
Rain.
no Hillary Swank Rain. And I'll say that to his face. I would look him right in the eye and say, you are no Hillary Swank.
And he's like, you guys, did you not learn anything? Are you still really thinking about almost like saying like, have you not realized that the through line of all of the challenges has been like seeing each other, what you can do with one another, helping one another to like get people up
Yeah.
and out of ground. There were a lot of moments like leading up to it, like even for people going to Niki, it was like, okay, like if we give you time to like practice on your own, like, is there any way that you can give like some hours in the day just to make sure that we're cleaned up as well?
Yeah.
And then finally, like, he like went like to sit by himself and like wrote, basically like journaled.
Yes.
And just like started taking like notes, basically. And
I wish more 14-year-old boys would journal and sit and think with their thoughts.
And just like sat with his thoughts.
Is it too much to ask?
Too much to ask for reflection.
Good Lord.
And then he like comes out of the kitchen and then he's like, okay, let's take it from the top, basically.
Yeah. A 5, 6, 7, 8.
And just like fully like, nope, do this, don't do that. And
he does one-on-ones with everybody.
He does one-on-ones.
He's so sweet and kind. It's the antithesis of like when he was
dance commander. His feedback is more like expressive. It's like, just be bigger. Like, you got it. You got the steps down. Now let's just not dance like we're apologizing.
It is so, and I don't mean this in like in a pejorative way of being like the audience can't think for themselves.
Yeah.
It is so clearly them being like, he had this
growth.
villain arc, but he is really learning from his mistakes.
Yeah.
And that I think is like the most exciting thing to watch.
Which I mean, like, if you are looking at it, okay, at this point, I don't know how far back of like footage they have to work off of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have all 4 weeks already in the can, but they were like, oh, Niki really steps up. Let's paint this whole arc. Or it's like they've been doing like, let's say, week to week. And so they're just like painting like, okay, Niki keeps kind of like antagonizing the group instead of helping out.
Yeah.
And that they see that it's going to pay off. Like, it's just, I don't know.
It's so fulfilling.
It's just one of those things that you just got to tell the story.
Yeah.
Because you never know what it's going to go.
Right. And then he has that moment with Taki too, where they're both like speaking Japanese. And he's like asking Taki for his advice. Like, what should I do? I don't know if I want to lead, but also like, we clearly need a leader. We
clearly need help. And I'm the only one that can really help.
Yeah.
I know. Which is like,
it's just so
truly the first time we've seen Niki ask for help or like ask for advice. I mean,
yeah, but also I think really speaks to him and Taki's actual genuine friendship, even though whatever,
he probably thinks that like they're not on the same level, maybe.
And I agree. I
Taki agrees.
Yes.
He's like, I think
there's a very clear
difference
between their skill set, but I don't think that means you can't be friends with someone.
Right.
Because now the global vote is supposed to be like everything you've seen before.
Yeah.
Everything you've seen up to this point.
Because even when the producers will vote out the 3 people out of Iland, that's what they're running off of too.
Yep. And that's obviously what the Islanders are going to do too. Seon is worried that he is not long for this world. Seon is worried that they're going to have to communicate via seance to talk to him.
He's in this show.
Yeah.
We mostly see him
he's been in Iland
in the socials.
The whole time.
I know he's been in Iland this entire time. We mostly see him in like the social aspect of the game.
Yeah.
As opposed to the performing. Because even in the performing, the producers are always like, Seon, you were fine.
Yeah.
So.
Not remarkable. And I mean remarkable in like the true sense of like nothing to be remarked upon. Jay, on his little storyline, is helping everyone. This is a really funny moment.
Yes.
Everybody keeps asking for Jay's help.
Our beloved Chan, aka J-Bomb in the show.
J-Bomb. Jungwon. Sunghoon. A lot of people. And then he like goes to like leave because he's had to do the like choreo. He basically like
it's at the end of the day. He like goes to the bathroom and Sunghoon's like putting on a face mask and he's just like, oh my god, I have just been dancing and teaching everyone all day. Whoa, which like is.
It's so funny.
Cute.
It's so funny because it's so real.
It's so cute. It's so real. But you can tell that he's like, obviously he likes it.
Yeah.
Why else would he like be making such a big deal, making everyone know that like he's been helping them out?
Right.
And like it's doing that thing of like, oh, I feel like I've been like teaching the same thing over and over again all day. And even Sunghoon was like, and you're probably going to keep doing it. So,
Can you teach me?
can you teach me? Like, I don't know. There's just something like with Jay, because he's gone through, I think, the most, which I didn't expect. I really didn't expect. I think we all thought that Sunoo was going to go through the most, just like turmoil in the show.
Yeah.
But Jay has been through a roller coaster every single week.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the week.
But he is so positive the whole time. Like, he does talk about in the episode, like with the Sunghoon thing,
He's
he does say
disappointed
like
in himself.
he's disappointed. But he's so like, we just have to keep going.
Yeah.
It's such like a great mindset. And Jake is also helping. And then there's a whole storyline about Jake's skill set has really
grown
improved.
from the first Signal song to now. He was like, I think fire really like helped me.
Lit a fire
up
under his
my
ass.
And now people are asking him for help too.
Ichan and Kyungmin are they are burning the midnight oil. They for hours.
Yeah.
And they are picking it up probably the slowest.
Ichan definitely, J-Bomb is definitely the slowest one, I would say. It's not sticking. Like he's learning it and then it's like, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. It's probably because you're not sleeping enough.
He's like working with Kyungmin like at the like very late at night. They're the only two people. And Kyungmin was like, let me tell you a little secret, girl. Girl, I am position 12. No one is looking at me. I am in the back the entire number. And there's a moment where I have to like do my arms in a certain way. And I just said, fuck it. I'm going to improvise because no one's looking at me. So I'm just going to do everything I can to
get noticed.
In the dance because I have one line in the song. So all I'm doing is practicing this dance.
Yeah. He's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's great because all the things that he's doing, it's not like changing or like stealing enough thunder that it's like, oh, it's distracting from the center.
Correct.
Everything he's doing is still so complimentary to the whole makeup of the choreography.
He is banking on or hoping that it's enough for like the producers because I think he knows Islanders are not going to pick him.
Yes.
Or I should say, are going to be one of the three that they throw out. His hope is like, if the producers notice me, there's 9 people that they just have to notice. Yeah. And then there's 3 they have to dislike. They have to agree to dislike. So as long as I'm in the group of 9, pretty good shot. So
then this I think like inspires J-Bomb too of like,
yeah.
Okay, then that means I shouldn't give up either. And so they like do this little montage of them like practicing over and over again, which is very interesting because we've talked about like Ichan, I feel like doesn't really get to is never shown or painted like he's the type of person that will drill.
Yes.
So this is the first time I've ever seen him do it. And I was like, okay, like he can do it.
Yeah,
he does do it.
Of course he does. They're all trying to be idols. Of course, they all do it.
Of course. There's this stupid moment.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Where I was truly stupid. Where like they're just like, oh my God, just practicing whatever. And Jake just starts like flexing his arm in the mirror. And then someone was like, oh, I can do that too. And so he started doing it. And Jay was like, oh, I can do that too. And I was like, whoa, you guys, whoa. And then Kay was like, hold my beer.
He's not wearing a t-shirt. He's wearing a hoodie.
So he has to pull his entire side of his hoodie up in order to show his bicep.
And also,
unfortunately, other parts are seen as well.
His abs.
Insane. But then I was like, this guy fucking runs marathons. So like, obviously.
Oh, confirmed marathon runner.
Confirmed marathon. I mean, proven Adam wrong.
I'm going to say something, and I don't want people to get mad. This is... This is so gay.
This is the gayest thing that straight people do.
This is very homoerotic.
This is the gayest thing that straight people do is the homoeroticism. And it happens all the time.
It's the male comparison.
It's the male comparison. And it truly happens all the time across everything. Everything.
And they just don't. That's what's crazy. They don't because they're not gay.
Yes, because they're not gay.
Just
There's
don't
nothing
think
there.
It's gay.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this being like,
for gays,
this couldn't be gayer.
And for gays, it's like, that's gay. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh my God. Straight men should be studied.
What a goofy show. What a goofy little show. I'm really tired of these Rain visits. I gotta be really honest. Rain comes back. There is a point in this where Taki is like, gets this one-on-one kind of like, Rain is like, oh, do it this way, do it that way. They really like Taki.
Yeah.
Like the producers really like Taki.
Yeah.
For good reason. But Hanbin does not, I would not say he gets like scolded or anything like that. But I think it's more just like, again, Rain
being Rain.
Rain being Rain.
He calls out that like, he looks like he's looking at the next spots.
He's like thinking 2 steps ahead.
And
it's showing.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, you are PO1. Like, revel in it. You are in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of the trainees like here still feel like. I mean, obviously, because they put them in that fucking situation.
Right.
So they're like, oh, it makes you feel like I just need to nail the steps. When in reality, it's like, no, you have to perform.
Whole thing. It's the whole thing. That's why that's the hardest part. It's doing all of it at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And making it look easy. And then they just show Seon be one of the ones that gets sent from Iland.
They show this like montage of the judges like, what could they be
ruminating
saying?
Over, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this person just like never made an impact the entire time they were there.
They're not getting better. They seem to be getting worse.
And then you see 6 people obviously get kicked out of Iland, blurred out. And right at the end, they show that one of them is Seon, fully bawling. And then end of episode, get ready to vote, girls. Like,
I was saying the 3 storylines I think we get, or the 3 that they're like, don't forget these 3 when you're voting. I think it was Kyungmin.
Yep.
Because he had so much story in this episode.
Yeah.
I think it was Niki's redemption.
Yep.
And I think it was the Seon.
Which even then, like the Seon thing, because it was going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Seon thing just reminds me of, it felt like the equivalent of like in Boys Planet when like halfway through voting, they would be like, here's 4 random trainees and where they are on the, if the voting ended today, here's where they would be.
Given
panic voting.
Given 14th or whatever the fuck it was.
The problem is like, I don't know how big Seon's, we're not living through it. Yeah. I don't know how big Seon's fan base was. Just in terms of the show, I don't know that there would be many people who would be like, I gotta vote for Seon.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see.
If you're watching now, we are. Let's. I know we just talked about we're not in the time
flashing.
watching this, but pretend you are.
I don't know any of these people except from what I've seen on the show.
From what I've seen, you've seen on the show. Who are the 6 that you're voting for? You're on your little Weverse app and you're pressing their faces, and you get to vote 6.
Jake Sung-hoon, JK.
Jake Sung-hoon, J.
And you can just show the clip of them showing off their muscles again, honestly.
You were so stupid.
No, okay, I'm not using that. I'll go from 6th to 1st. Yep. In 6th place, I would say Daniel. In 5th place, I would say Taki. In 4th place, I would say probably Niki. In 3rd place, Jay. 2nd, K. 1st, Sunoo. I think that would be the 6 I would vote for. The Niki redemption really worked for me.
Yeah.
K is really good. Obviously, Sunoo. I think Jay, his like constant, earnestly trying. And he's so good. Like, he doesn't need to be trying this hard, and yet he still keeps trying this hard, even when it doesn't work out perfectly for him. Taki's, I mean... and... Daniel. Yeah, his vocal performance really, really shook me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I could easily probably pick 6 more.
Okay, I am voting for
Is this in order? 6 to 1?
6 to 1, 6 to 1, half a dozen or the other. I'm picking Daniel also as my 6th. I'm picking Jungwon as my 5th.
Oh. What moment from
It's
this
the
episode
hug.
with Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And the sleeping.
He would be in my 12 for sure.
Yeah. K is 4th. J is 3rd.
Yeah. I hate when you look at me like that because I know you're about to piss me off. Sunoo's not in your 6, is he?
He is.
Okay, good.
I think I would do Hanbin as 2nd and Sunoo as my 1st.
I really like Hanbin. I think at this point...
They have not done anything for him.
I know.
Even though you know that he is like a very consistent member of Ground.
Yes.
I mean, it shows that Niki wanted him to be one of the representatives in the dance team. And the fact that they feel confident for him to be PO1.
Yeah.
So that I think like I would have voted for here and be like, I want to support him being center.
Yeah.
I really think if I was watching the show, like Sunoo would be my Haruto. Like Sunoo would be like
Sunoo is my northern star.
Absolutely. He is my one pick.
Oh my god.
But I think like these 6 are truly the ones that would have like captured me.
He's so soft spoken in his little talking heads.
I know.
Oh my god.
Who I would be super bummed that get voted out. I think J-Bomb, which would suck, but that's me in the lens of like I know our beloved Ichan.
I think I feel it more because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the moment I would be scared for EJ.
Yeah, I would be worried for Hanbin.
Yeah. I mean, truly, everyone in Ground.
I genuinely, I
don't
do
know who
not
in Ground
know leaves.
Yeah, I don't either.
The only thing I know is who makes it on
enhypen.
the show, and like who starts and team. So I'm assuming all those boys make it through part 2.
Through part 2, yeah. I'd be scared for Nicholas at this point. I think I would think like he's like impressive.
He did really good in the.
Yeah, Nate talked about it last time that like there's a big shift in the show when it gets to part 2, and even when we're scrolling through the episodes, they call it part 2.
Yeah.
So very interested to see if my attention is kept for part 2, or if I am.
Well, they start off part 2 with BTS and 2020 BTS.
Yeah.
What a time to have been alive, and I wasn't. What was I doing? I was working at Disney. I was reopening a theme park.
Because at a height of a global pandemic, you know what people needed?
I was an essential worker.
To ride with rides.
To ride a simulation of a car testing environment. You're right. We all needed that.
We all needed to know what it was like if imagination was created in a lab.
In a lab, right. And I was there to service that for people.
So thank you for your service.
Thank you for thanking me. Okay?
I was there 5 o'clock every day clapping out. I would stand outside and I would clap.
Bang on your little pot.
Bang on my pots and pans. Thanking Adam, the first responder.
First responder. Absolutely.
Girls, 2020 was dark.